Have you ever felt like you're not good enough no matter how hard you try? Maybe you've earned a promotion, received praise, or even hit a personal milestone, but something inside you whispers, "It's just luck. They'll find out I'm not as capable as they think." If you've had these thoughts, don't worry, you're not alone. This crippling self-doubt has a name. And today, I'm going to show you not only why you feel this way, but how to break free from it and step into the confidence and success you. So why should you watch this video? Because imposter syndrome is holding you back more than you realize. Whether it's in your career, relationships, or personal growth, this invisible barrier is stopping you from reaching your full potential. But the good news is, with the right mindset shifts and strategies, you can overcome it. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how. Imposter syndrome doesn't discriminate. It affects high achievers, everyday individuals, and even people who are outwardly confident. You might be at the top of your game, but inside, you feel like a fraud, afraid that one day, everyone will realize you're not as skilled or competent as they think. The first step in overcoming this mindset is to recognize that these feelings they are self-imposed limits that your mind has built up over time. But guess what? You're not stuck with them. Let's dive into the actionable steps you can take to challenge these negative beliefs. Imposter syndrome doesn't just appear out of nowhere. It often stems from childhood experiences or societal pressures. For example, many of us grew up in environments where achievement and perfection were prioritized. Maybe you were told you had to be the best in school, sports, or your career, and anything less than perfection felt like failure. Over time, this belief becomes so deeply ingrained that even when you succeed, you dismiss your accomplishments as luck or timing because nothing ever feels good enough. On the flip side, imposter syndrome can also come from constantly comparing yourself to others, especially in the age of social media. It's easy to look at someone else's highlight reel and think they have it all figured out while you're still struggling. But what we rarely see are the behind-the-scenes battles, the failures, and the self-doubt that goes through. In fact, research shows that up to 2% of people experience imposter syndrome at some point in their lives. So if you've ever thought, "I'm the only one feeling this way," let me reassure you, you're not alone. Even the most successful people battle these thoughts. So, how do we begin tackling these thoughts? The first step is to challenge your inner dialogue. Most people who struggle with imposter syndrome have a very critical voice inside their heads that constantly tells them they aren't good enough. It's the voice that says, "I only got this job because they needed to fill a position," or "I don't deserve this success." One practical exercise to counter this is to start talking to yourself the way you would to a close friend. Think about it. Would you tell your best friend that they don't deserve their accomplishments? Of course not. You'd remind them of all the hard work they've put in and the skills they've developed along the way. So every time you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough" or "I'm a fraud," flip that thought around. Instead, say to yourself, "I'm learning, I'm growing, and I'm earning my place." This small shift in language may seem insignificant, but over time it retrains your brain to view yourself in a more positive light. To make this point even more clear, let's talk about some famous people who have openly admitted to feeling like imposters despite their enormous success. Take Maya Angelou, for example. Even after writing multiple best-selling books and receiving countless awards, she once said, "I have written 11 books, but each time I think, uh-oh, they're going to find out now. I've run a game on everybody, and they're going to find me out." Or Tom Hanks, one of the greatest actors of all time. Despite decades of hit movies and winning multiple Oscars, even he has confessed to feeling like a fraud at times. He said, "No matter what we've done, there comes a point where you think, how did I get here? When are they going to discover that I am, in fact, a fraud and take everything away from me?" The takeaway? You're in good company. If these legendary figures can feel like imposters yet continue to push forward and succeed, you can too. Remember, imposter syndrome is just not a fact. I'd love to hear from you right now. Drop a comment below and let me know if you've ever felt imposter syndrome and how it affected you. What area of your life does it show up the most? Work, relationships, or personal growth? Let's get the conversation going because you're definitely not alone in this. I'll be reading your comments and responding to as many as I can. One of the best ways to combat imposter syndrome is to start celebrating your. And I'm not just talking about big accomplishments like getting a promotion or achieving a major goal. I'm talking about win, no matter how small. Did you finish a tough project at work? Celebrate it. Did you speak up in a meeting when you usually stay quiet? That's a win. Did you get through a workout even though you felt tired? Celebrate that too. Here's why this works. When you start to recognize and celebrate your successes, both big and small, you shift your focus from what you've done to what you. Over time, this builds a stronger sense of self-worth because you're actively reminding yourself that you are capable and deserving of success. It's about building momentum with small wins so that you feel more confident tackling bigger challenges. Another great way to solidify this shift in mindset is through journaling. But not just any journaling. I'm talking about specifically writing down your. Every day, take a few minutes to write down 3 things you did well, 3 challenges you overcame, or 3 ways you pushed yourself outside your comfort zone. There's actually scientific research backing this up. Studies show that when you write about positive experiences, it rewires your brain to focus more on the positives and less on the negatives. Over time, journaling can help you track your progress and show you just how far you've come. It's a simple but powerful tool to boost your confidence and remind yourself that you're not a fraud. You're growing and learning every day. It's also important to consider the people you surround yourself with. Are you surrounded by people who lift you up or people who make you feel less than? If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, it can feed your self-doubt and make imposter syndrome even worse. But if you're around people who believe in you, whether it's friends, family, mentors, or even an online community, you'll start to see yourself through their eyes. You'll realize that the doubts in your head are just that, doubts. They aren't reality. Take some time to evaluate your relationships. Are there people who constantly undermine you or make you feel unworthy? If so, it might be time to create some distance. Focus on surrounding yourself with people who encourage you, support your growth, and remind you of your strengths. Let me give you a real-world example of how a strong support system can make all the difference. Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx, built her billion-dollar company despite facing countless rejections early on. But she didn't let self-doubt win. Instead, she leaned on her small circle of supporters who believed in her vision and encouraged her to keep going. Without their support, she might not have persevered. And Spanx, one of the most successful women's apparel brands, may have never existed. So don't underestimate the power of a strong support network. It can be the difference between giving up and pushing through. Another powerful tool to overcome imposter syndrome is visualization. This is where you spend a few minutes each day imagining yourself succeeding, feeling confident, and achieving your goals. Visualization is a technique used by athletes, top performers, and entrepreneurs to build mental resilience and increase confidence. Picture yourself in a situation where you normally feel like an imposter. Maybe it's at work, in a meeting, or even in social settings. Now visualize yourself handling that situation with ease and confidence. Imagine the people around you recognizing your value, and more importantly, you recognizing your own worth. The more you practice this, the more your brain begins to accept these positive scenarios as reality. Over time, this mental rehearsal can help reduce self-doubt and build a more confident mindset. So now you have the tools to start tackling imposter syndrome head-on. You've learned how to reframe your inner dialogue, celebrate your wins, surround yourself with positive support, and use visualization to build confidence. But here's the thing. Knowing this isn't enough. You have to take action. I challenge you to start implementing just one of these strategies today. Whether it's writing down your wins, reframing a negative thought, or visualizing your success, take that first step. Because when you do, you'll begin to see that imposter syndrome doesn't have to control your life. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. I can't wait to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and remember, you deserve your success. Now go out and own it. Until next time, stay confident, stay strong, and keep growing.